Welcome to my channel. Today I drew a couple of cards and I felt that this will have a message for the collective. And I have no idea what it is about, but I just trust my intuition, and if it's not worth it, I won't post it. And when I looked at these cards, it was like telling me a story about our time period right now. And I guess every one of you is feeling this, that there is something shifting, there is something happening, and we have no idea what it is, right? But these cards are an invitation to go deeper and to feel into our emotions, because it's the shift that is happening is connected to our emotions and our breath. And for me, this feels like these cards are talking about timelines and the shifting of timelines and the change of frequency and how that's connected. And a lot of people are talking about how to change timelines. And it's our ability to choose for ourselves, and that's what these dragons talk about for me. It's about our choice, how we want to create our lives, how in which line we want to walk. And it seems to not be in our choosing. It seems that this is something happening to us. But it's not. It's something we have in our hands. It's the independence in this card telling us that we have the choice to carve out our own path. And in doing so, we attract what is fitting to this timeline. This dragon is telling us to ask questions, and ask questions that are not asked before. I don't know if you can hear it, but there is a tiny dog in the background that's barking all the time. So there is something like a reminder to ask questions, to not accept what is happening. So I guess everything that's happening in a reading is something that's of importance. So this dog barking is not accepting what someone did, so I guess they left him alone. They left him somewhere in the timeline where he's alone. And he has no choice right now except barking. And there is a difference to us, because we are able to ask questions about our reality. And if we talk about attracting things that we want, is how we can do it. How is this done? And this brings up the question of frequency, vibration, energy, right? So if we are able to choose, why don't we? Why don't we choose the timeline we want to be in? And for this deck showing us that this is a path we have to work through. It's like if we think about the Matrix, it's about decoding what is happening, to see what is underneath, what is the pattern, what is the things we want to reveal, and asking the right questions get us in the place where we can choose again. Because we always choose. It's not one-time thing. It's when we see the light of the day, when we are born, we bring something from the last time with us. And that's what the birth chart shows when we look at it. It's the moment, maybe the moment we died, and maybe the same moment we were born again. We don't know, but it tells a story about the past and the future, and the path we want to take, and the path we came from, where we are comfortable. And then we enter into this family that creates a lot of tension, right? And we lose our feeling for why we came, because we get conditioned. But there is one part in us that is keeping this flame alive, and this is just a tiny little flame that is not conditionable, if this is a word. This is not changeable. And this tiny little beautiful light is the hearth of our home, of our existence. And it always triggers us to go back, to find deep within the source and the thing that we wanted to achieve in this life. There is not material things meant by this. We want to achieve something else. And so when we dive deep and we find the parts that are conditioned and that are traumatized, we have to walk our way through. And we have to find our true self in it. Whatever happened in your life, we get traumatized at one point. That's this pain of being traumatized is the same whatever happened to you. So it's the pain is the same. The conditioning is the same. It's something that created a pattern and a surrounding for you where you tried to fit in. And this was the most important time for you to try to adapt, to try to find the way how you can fit in. And often we are born in really different, in families that are different from us. So the frequency is different in this family, and We came with one frequency, but we realized this is not working in this family, so what will we do with it? And so we try to adapt, because we have a specific adaptability. So we have this, can't see it here now. We have a specific adaptability, and we use it in a way that is not the way it was supposed to work. So we try to fit in, and we try to do something that is helping us to be one of them, whatever them is, right, in your world. And then you realize, no, that's not working, and this little flame inside of you is always calling you back into your own frequency. And then it's clashing, right? The worlds are clashing with yours, and you have no idea what to do. You try to fit in. You try to find the people where you belong to, but it's in a way that's not working. And the frequency in this Aquarius card is showing the different lines that we try to work in. These lines are like, if we think about timelines, we think about, oh, this is a timeline and the next one is a timeline, and they are kind of separate, and we think we can jump the timelines in just walking into the other one. But how this appears is that's not how it works. It's through our own work with our own trauma. And that's the way we have to go for it, is to face the things we didn't want to face. And to get into this place of the dance. And it's a beautiful depiction of how these timelines show up. It's like a spiral. And in the first part of our life, it's not, we cannot see the connection. When we grow older, we see, oh, this is the point where I already worked on. And we think it's a repetition. But it's not a repetition. It's like being in a spiral. Being in the same place, but not in the same space. I'm absolutely sure that life wants us to succeed. So life brings these moments back and shows us this is the moment where you can heal yourself. Do you remember this wound inside of you? And then you say, no, I don't want to look at this. And life says, okay, I come back another time. Maybe you are ready at this time. And then life comes back and asks you again. And it's a different situation, but it's the same theme that's underlying all of this. And life comes back and gives you the next chance to dive in and to heal this and to grow beyond. And this is what this is showing too, right? To grow beyond and to get out of your own inhibition to grow and to grow in your own energy. And if we work through trauma, it doesn't vanish. It changes our frequency. And why does it change our frequency? Because it wants us to see the divine abundance that is already there. And to see this flame that is keeping you alive and that is keeping you in trying to get there again. And we have to clash into other people, have to clash into different situations to see, at one point, to see the illusion. The illusion that comes with taking things as facts. The center point of our life and our development is our emotions and our breath. Because it's our own creation, it's our own life. It's the life force that comes with this, the magnetism that comes with your own emotions and your own creations. And she's standing right there in the middle of the water, creating peace from within. And why is she doing this? Because she can. That's her secret. If she is, and she is closing her eyes, if she is in her own depth, if she is in her own emotion, and she is centered in there, in her hearth of the heart, in her flame of her own heart, and she is breathing in all of this centeredness, then she's creating magic. And it's for the change of everything. And there is a secret in this card that is showing the creation and the shifting of timelines in the same moment. Because when we allow ourselves to be in this place of deep emotion and centeredness at the same time, from this wisdom that comes from within, then we create something that is true. And her peace is true. She opens her hands, she comes up with her hands, and she creates all the pigeons and the doves flying around her. It's peaceful. It's stable. Although her hair is flying and the water is flowing, but the light is centered above her, and all these birds flying up, and they are white birds, right? So they show the sacredness of this moment. And while she is standing there in her frequency, she knows that she is in the right place at the right time, playing with the energies, allowing herself to dance with life, and allowing her to attract the same energies. Because this is what we want to experience. We want to be at the one point we want to be. This is the horseman, the herald of change. And we want life to be an independent place for us. to create something from this place, and we want life to adapt to us. And that's the thing we learn later on, because when we ask the right questions, we can see that if we are in this state, life will adapt to you. And then you are creating smaller loops in this spiral that is called time or timelines, and the loops are getting smaller, and at one point they connect. And when they connect, the timelines connect. And then you are in the right one, because there is no step to be taken. Then there is everything flowing at the right time, in divine timing, to adapt to your timeline and to your frequency. And then you get triggered by something and you fall out of it. And you think again you have to fit in. So you lower your frequency. You could get out of this state and lower your frequency. So you get into this, you open up the spiral again to get them more out of balance. And then you're standing somewhere else. And if you're standing somewhere else, something else and someone else flows in your direction. So it's all about this balance and about your divine knowledge about the truth. And to dive deep into your own trauma, not to dwell there in the lower frequency that comes with it. It's allowing the pain to appear, allow yourself to dive into the pain deeply, to change it. Because the spiral that is time is adapting to you too. So if you step out of your higher frequency, all of your life adapts to that. And sometimes we lower our own frequency in acknowledging that we want to have something that we don't have. But we don't acknowledge that we are walking in a timeline that will never get there. Because when we are in this place where we think, oh, I don't have this, and this is not for me, and this this happens again, and it always happens to me, then we are exactly in this timeline. And we allow this to unfold because we tell the story about not having something. So if we want to be in the timeline where we are in our best way of being, and that's in our center and in our heartfelt fire that wants to be embodied in this lifetime, we have to recognize that all of our wants and all of our perception of this world is illusion. So it is about staying with yourself, because that's the one real thing, is you and this place inside of you that knows the truth. And maybe that's what I'm talking about makes no sense. I have no idea. But I feel that this is the only thing that we can rely on, is this truth that comes up, or when you feel inside of your center, where this hearth of your heart, your light, is burning brightly. And to step into the timeline that leads you to collaboration, to synergy, to a place where we share our gifts, to this place of, and I didn't mention this, of abundance. You know, this is abundance. This is someone who can handle abundance and wealth, right? This is the being present of resources, being connection of land. And she is able to handle the resources, and she is self-reliant, and she is abundant, and she is abundant in her heart. So these cards are really beautiful, fitting into this story of staying in your own abundance to keep your frequency. And to see in the moment when you are triggered by something, to see that this is an illusion too. That is a trigger, yes, of course, but it triggers something that is long gone. There was something in your life that traumatized you. That's true. And maybe you have to visit this place. And with all of what I said about the timelines and the frequency, you can visit this place anytime you want. And you can change it anytime you want. Because when you travel there in this state, when you go there and you get yourself out of this traumatic experience, you change the actual timeline. Because this is your choice. Your choice is staying there, telling yourself the story of the victim, or to go there and to get the victim out of it. That doesn't mean that something of the things that happened to you will be made right. That's not true. Something happened that wronged you in a way, that hurt you, that whatever it did to you, of course, it traumatized you. And it's your choice to stay in this place of the victim, or to take it in your hands to get yourself, your other timeline self, out of it. And for this, you can enter into this space. You can dive deep. And you breathe yourself out of it. And that means that you claim your independence from time, from space, from everything. Because it is in your wisdom to allow life to adapt to you. and to be the herald of change yourself. And that's a different perspective, right? And I will draw a couple of tarot cards. Yes. And we have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Birds, and for me that's the indication of new thoughts coming your way. And it's new thoughts leading to different outcomes. And this is the Six of Lotuses, Six of Chalices. It's leading to an abundance that comes with new emotional depth. And that's what this is about, right? Life on Earth. It's life on Earth and the world, right? And this is a beautiful depiction of it because it's showing the eye in the middle of the world looking at you. And this is like a spiral too, right? This is like the spiral of time where you have the choice, where you enter, and how you deal with this spiral that is there for you. And the other one, the life on Earth, is showing us that it's embracing all these spirals. And by embracing them, we let go of the idea that they are different steps we have to take. That's not what we have to do. We have to embrace and then to collaborate by allowing ourselves to stay in our frequency. And this frequency is magnetic. This frequency is showing us the people and the magic that's on our path, because we choose not to step back, not to step down, not to fall for the idea and the illusion of lack, because there is no such thing. If you look around, there is in this world, there's just abundance. And there you can see she is in this abundance of transformation, right? Looking at the parts of herself that she can change by breathing life into them, by allowing them to transform, to vanish, and to experience something else. experience the abundance that comes with it, right? Because this is what this card is about too, right? The Nine of Cups, the Nine of Water, the abundance and the wealth that comes with it. This is a beautiful addition to the cards above, and the Strength. Allowing ourselves to be one. To be one with the fire that is underneath in our heart, and to be one with all that is life, and stop ourselves from taking the step back. Always when we get into these places of being triggered, stop taking ourselves back. Stop adapting to the frequency around us. Stop adapting to the frequency of lack. And allowing ourselves to stay in this independent mode where we can just choose to step into our own deep emotions and create and breathe life into things. And the next step that comes with it is transformation, right? Transforming the things around us by allowing ourselves to stand in the abundance, in the middle of the abundance, and allow life to transform around us. This is the energy. It's your life force. It's your flame that's underneath it all. You were born with this flame. You were born with this beautiful part of you that is shining its light. And all of the things that happen to you may be one of the parts that try to get you off your track. But if you listen to me right now, and if you stayed this long, you're one of these who are able to heal themselves by stepping into the deep, allowing things to transform, and to allow life to adapt to you, and allow your own magic to attract the things that are already in your life, but you didn't recognize them. Staying in this timeline of attraction, staying in this timeline where you can see that all you want and all you need is already there. Just allowing it to reveal itself. And stop getting out of this pattern to step into emotional states that bring you somewhere else where that is reality too. So I guess that's what I wanted to share, and hopefully this makes sense, and we can see all this abundance coming up to us, and we will be able, and this is how this sums up, right? How we will be able to handle all of these things. The queens that are showed up in this deck, they are able to handle abundance. They are able to handle their emotions. They are in this wealth and abundance. They are at home there. And this is the same thing as shows up here, to go deep into these emotions, because they are the most valuable thing you have next to the breath and to your voice. But I want to do a different reading about the voice, because I think that's a beautiful way to show your frequency is through voice, and how we learn to get into our unique voice. But this one was about this diving into the deep and going into your emotions and breathing life into the parts of your life that are already there, that just want to reveal themselves, and stop adapting to life and adapting to people who are around you that are living in a different reality than you. And allow yourself to attract the things that are already there. There is nothing in between you and the things you want for yourself. And of course, it's always connected in this area with these dragons, like being the dragons that are on the equinox points in a couple of weeks. This is the shifting of our time. This is the shifting of our energy, of the frequency into independence or dependence. And it's your choice. It's your choice where you are going. Which timeline do you want to be in? What is the frequency you want to be in? And that's your choice. You can try to adapt, you can try to fit in, you can try to do whatever you want, and you will get it. You will get it. If you think you have to adapt, you have to adapt. And then you have to adapt again, because you get all the surroundings that will make you adapt. Or you can step in and say, I want life to adapt to this, what I have inside of myself. I can tap into this richness of my emotions and my balance and my breath that is able to create worlds and transform everything into abundance. And I mean abundance not from a financial perspective, can be, but I don't mean it that way. Step into yourself to create this, to see this abundance, because you don't have to create it. It's already there. Look around you. It's everywhere. There is abundance of air right around you. There is an abundance in the earth. There is an abundance in the sky. There is abundance everywhere. And can you stay in there? Can you see this? Can you be aware and awake to all of the abundance that is already there? And feel it. And breathe into it. So that all of your world and your outer experiences can adapt to your frequency. There is so much richness in this, and there's so much beautiful energy in this. I deeply believe that this is a change. This is a moment of change where we step into our power of frequency, and where we allow life and this whole world around us to adapt to this richness and to this abundance, and to transform our creation into something, into a new world that is worth living in. Thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to share these ideas of this collective message that I had the urge to share with you. So thank you for so much, and thank you for a like and for subscribe, and I will stay in this frequency of this abundance, because everything we wish for is already there. It's just our own choice to allow this world to adapt to our frequency and to take care of our frequency and to step into our own power, where we can connect the world, where we connect our own patterns, our own upbringing, our own conditioning with the abundance that comes with the strength to stand your ground, to collaborate, to stand in your own fire, to stand in your own power and your own energy, to let us grow and go beyond the lack that we created, and to step in this abundance, because the world will adapt and will allow us to create from this powerful place, to create a better world, to create the world that is already there, that just wants to reveal itself. Thank you so much, and I see you soon.